Durag wisdom here, folks. Merry Christmas to those who observe. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. I don't say Happy Holidays. I never did. Some asshole at a restaurant I ate at recently, he owns this restaurant. When I wished him a Merry Christmas, he said, "Oh, now we could say Merry Christmas again." I always was able to say Merry Christmas, folks. As long as I can remember, I'm Jewish. I have no problem with saying Merry Christmas. Hey, you know, it's a great holiday. I mean, you know, and there's no problem. Just some people out there think that their people don't like their holiday or they, you know, whatever it is. But I respect people's holidays. And that's what I want to say. I hope you all are having a great, not me. There's no holiday season for me. Now you're probably wondering, John McCain for president? What kind of a fucking liberal, progressive, democratic socialist am I? Am I crazy? No, folks. This commentary is based on stuff I heard from Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow. Thank them very much for the education they're giving me on the recent, all this news that we need to know about. You need to watch political news. Now, it tortures me to have to watch the political news today. It's like watching a snuff film where someone is really getting killed. And since this creep has been nominated by the Electoral College, or not yet anyways, to come in and he's going to destroy us. All right. Let me make this as succinct as possible if I can. First, let me say that somebody wrote to me and said that I should get a haircut. I'm bald up here. And people should understand, and this person should understand that I'm trying to go after I'm trying to emulate my idol, Donnie Trump. I'm growing myself the biggest comb over you could imagine. Okay? So whoever asked me, get a freaking haircut. I'm just growing a comb over, okay? See? All right. Now, Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow taught me some additional things about the Electoral College. And you know, folks, we must know civics. We must know about our government. We must watch the news. Because, you know, we're going to be screwed and we're not going to be kissed by this creep that's coming in. And Olbermann said he'd rather have, if he had a choice between McCain, Romney, and Trump, he would pick either Romney or McCain. I understand what he means by that. First of all, I wouldn't pick Romney because I freaking hate him. The Electoral College is meeting this Monday to decide if they're going to allow this creep to be president. And what I learned on the Rachel Maddow show is that the Electoral College is supposed to deliberate. It's not a rubber stamp like I thought it was. Alexander Hamilton and the geniuses, the racist geniuses, I should say, who created our country, had this constitution. They were so afraid of being taken over by a monarchy. So they made sure to have like the separation of powers. The separation of powers even includes the state governments and the local city governments. So if the federal government does something stupid, like, for example, if the Trump administration wants to deport Mexicans and to register Muslims in New York State under Eric Schneiderman, we're going to tell him to go fuck himself. Because the states, you know, have a right to do that. If the Trump administration is going to destroy the environment, New York State's going to rise up against him. See, I am glad that we have so-called liberals, because I don't believe Cuomo is a liberal, running my state. Because we're going to fight this Nazi scumbag every step of the way. All right. Now, I'm a liberal, I'm a progressive, I social. And according to Rachel Maddow, the Electoral College, according to Alexander Hamilton, is supposed to be a time we're supposed to look at this candidate, analyze him or her, well, not her, because back in those days women weren't even allowed to vote, analyze him and decide. So I'm hoping that the Electoral College will see that this creep has so many conflicts of interest. He's such a puppet of that scumbag Putin that he is going to undermine our democratic republic. He has no respect for our democratic republic, no respect for our freedom of speech, no respect for the freedom of the press. Can you imagine this creep running during World War II? No one would vote for him. And I bet you once, if we had a do-over election because of the Russian hacking, I bet you anything that this guy would lose so many votes, he would be in the toilet. He's going to destroy our country, or try to. But it's going to be difficult because we have a big government, thankfully, and it has separation of powers. Now, Keith Olbermann, he says the Electoral College has to stand, be courageous, reject this, and since the Republicans won the Electoral College vote, I only accept the popular vote. That's the vote I accept, which the Democrats won. But in this stupid country, we have an Electoral College, and there are many reasons for this Electoral College, both positive and negative, including the idea of the slave owners wanting to count their slaves. But the fact is, Rachel taught me that it's not a rubber stamp. Electoral College is not a rubber stamp. And it was put there to protect us, supposedly. It was also put there to protect the South, but okay. So, getting back to Keith Olbermann. He said, well, okay, the Electoral College vote was run by the Republicans. So the Democratic electors on the Electoral College should compromise with the Republican electors and say, look, please don't put that goddamn crazy fascist dictator as president of our country. He'll destroy our country. We'll go for an alternate Republican president because they won the Electoral College. I picked John McCain. I don't like his policies. I don't like how he treated Obama during while he was president. But I do respect this man for the fact that he's a veteran, and I've always respected combat veterans. I mean, I hate war. I was against the Vietnam War. I was against all these freaking wars we've had that are really not wars. But I still respect the vets who bravely fought to keep me free, even though they're going to like Vietnam, which has nothing to do with my freedom, or any other this Iraq war, which has nothing to do with my freedom. But the fact is, whether the war is a just war or not a just war, we must respect our war veterans. And I have always consistently respected my war veterans, which this scumbag, mother effer Trump does not. I want to make a plea to the Electoral College and to everybody, pick John McCain instead of Trump. I know he's a Republican, I know he's a right-winger, but you got to go by the Electoral College, pick John McCain. He's not a totalitarian, he's a traditional Republican, and I think he's more of a moderate than the rest of those sleazebags. During the campaign that he had against Obama, he discouraged people from saying anything nasty, racist about his opponent. This man spent months in a prison camp in Vietnam, was tortured. If I was a soldier, if there's any foxhole I'd want to be in, it would be with him. A brave person who that creep called a loser because he was captured, that son of a bitch, that birther bastard. If you had a choice between Trump and McCain, which would you pick? Sadly, I know, I'd rather have Bernie Sanders in there, or a Democrat or a liberal, a progressive in there who believes in people, who believes in the spirit of Christmas, which the Republican Party rejects totally. So, in conclusion, when the Electoral College meets next Monday, I hope and pray to the goddess, as an atheist, to the goddess, that they reject the monster, creep, Trump, and his bucket full of shitheads who have declared war on the rest of us. Okay? I hope they pick instead John McCain, war hero, veteran, and true American, played by Ed Harris in Game Change, by the way. And that's what I feel, folks. I hope that people come to their senses. Watch the space, please.